Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Appreciate you being here today. If you will, like, share, comment on the post, and then you can follow along in the book of Ruth, chapter 2 and verse 2. Ruth 2:2. Beginning there, it says, And Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, Let me go to the field and glean among the ears of grain after him, in whose sight I shall find favor. And she said to her, Go, my daughter. We have here an interesting little thing going on here with Ruth. And so she does. She sets out, it says, and goes and gleans in the field after the reapers. And she happened to come to the part of the field belonging to Boaz, who was of the clan of Elimelech. Important to remember that statement. Boaz is of the family of Elimelech. Ruth here strikes out and shows a great deal of compassion, a great deal of initiative, a great deal of courage. She's not going to sit back and just starve to death. She says, let me go out and glean in the fields. They don't have any food, and they're living in a society that is very male-oriented, really no practically no jobs for women, again, that would any kind of money-making jobs. They are broke. They are out of food. They are both widows. Naomi at this point is probably too old, maybe too sick to look for work. Ruth, being a foreigner, a Moabite, on top of that, so they're in a mess. And all these problems that are going on, Ruth still says, let me do something. I can't just sit here and do nothing. So she goes out and says, I'm going to go out and I'm going to glean from the fields. And again, what that simply means is that they were going to go out. She was going to go out, and as the harvesters harvested the fields, then she was going to pick up anything that they dropped, anything that they had missed. God had made a provision for this in the law, actually, that when the farmers tended their fields, they were anything that was left over was open for the poor to come and to go through, and that the law actually required that they didn't go back a second time when they went through a vineyard or a tree, a fruit tree of some kind, or a field, anything they harvested, they got one shot at it. They weren't allowed to go back and send another crew through and pick up anything that had been missed. These leftovers, these missed things, dropped things, were to be left so that the poor could come through the field and pick them up. Now, I don't know how Ruth knew that law because she wasn't a Jew, but she's stepping up, and she's done this, and again, as a foreigner, don't know how well she's going to be received, even if the law does say that. And there's a lot of things we could say about this passage, but the one thing that strikes me about it is that how God had set that up in the law. That a harvester, a farmer, landowner, was not supposed to basically strip the field bare, but to leave something behind for the poor. Tells me about the very nature of God. That God has a compassionate heart. That God cares about the broken. He cares about the hurting. He cares about those who are in need. He has a real heart for those folks. And we could go down the road of how we could talk about how Ruth, shows she's not lazy, her love for her family, those kind of things. But the thing that really moves me as I think about this is that God, from the beginning, when He set up the law, said, you know what, I want to take care of the broken. And I don't know about you, but I'm thankful for that because I'm probably most of the time more broke than I am whole. I need a compassionate, caring God. Most of us, if we're honest, will say, I don't have it all together. I don't have it all figured out. I need a God that cares about me when I'm down. We live in a society that tends to kick those that are down. But thankfully, we serve a God who the poor, the broken, the hungry, God has actually went to the effort to design here a system to take care of those broken people. And more so we see it in the New Testament when He says in the New Testament that He sent His Son. He sent Jesus Christ to seek and to save that which was lost. That one little lost sheep that strayed off from the flock. He went to find it. Thank God we have a Savior who cares for the broken. Think about it. You have a good day. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.